Hello, 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 fam. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, and it is Trash Day Thursday. We know what Thursday is by now, right? It is Trash Day Thursday, and it is time for us to throw away something in our lives that should not be there, that is preventing us from being the absolute best that we can be in our lives. And so I want to start this video out by giving a shout out to my subscribers in Columbus, Ohio. Danya, my sister Danya, and all her colleagues, because they be on me, honey. They said, you didn't do a Motivational Monday video or a Quadruple M video on Monday, and I did my Trash Day Thursday video last week late because I was preparing to go out of town, and I went to Tampa, Florida, and had an absolute ball. So I'm sorry for being slack on the job, Columbus crew, but I am back today, and I'm gonna give it to you today, okay? So on this Trash Day Thursday, what are we gonna talk about that is that we should throw away in our lives, that is preventing us to being the absolute best that we can be for ourselves and to give our best to the world? Okay, so let me preface this video like I prefaced one video before. It's kind of windy, it's kind of blowing my hair all over the place, but anyway, got big hair day today. But anyway, let's say this. Okay, sometimes things that we talk about are gonna be sensitive, has the potential to maybe hurt your feelings or hurt somebody's feelings or offend somebody, but please know that's not my heart, and that is not what I am trying to do. What I am trying to do, and what we are trying to do together, because we are in this together, right? What we are trying to do is to be the absolute best that we can be in this life. Because this is not a dress rehearsal. This is the only life we get, okay? We only live it one time. And what we don't want to do is be on our deathbed and be saying, oh, I wish I had done A, B, C, D, coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't, all those things that it's too late for us to do. So as we focus and highlight all of the wonderful things about our life, about us, and about our personality and what we give that's so beautiful to the world, we also want to self-reflect on a regular basis and say, what are the things in my life that are not so good? Or what are the things in my life that I'm so comfortable with, but it's damaging my relationships and I may not be aware of it? So this is one of those videos. So on this Trash Day Thursday, are you guys open-minded? Are you ready to hear what we have to say? Okay, so on this Trash Day Thursday, we want to throw away accusations. We want to throw away accusations with pronouns. That's right, we said it. Accusations with pronouns. Things that you say that are like you, him, her, they, them. Accusations with pronouns, because beautiful relationships in our life fill us with love. They warm our hearts. They strengthen and encourage us, and they help us to grow and thrive. But at the same time, they comfort us when we're hurting, and then they fill us with laughter. And this weekend in Tampa, I got all of that. I got that from my brother Leroy, I got that from my cousin Mike, and I got that from my cousin Teresa and my cousin-in-law Jay. And we just had a beautiful time, and it helped me to realize that beautiful relationships in your life are necessary. Beautiful relationships in your life are needed. Beautiful relationships in your life is what make you who you are, what make us who we are, you know. So, but when conflict arises in those beautiful relationships, we must communicate in a way that to get to the end result of continuing to have that beautiful relationship. We must get to the end result of, we know that conflict is going to arise in relationships, but we got to push through in a way that does minimal damage, that does minimal detriment to that relationship, so that it can remain beautiful and continue to strengthen into being more beautiful. So when you accuse someone, when you say things like, you hurt my feelings, you are not listening, you never do A, B, C, D, you made it seem like da 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 da. What you do when you accuse is that you put the other person on the defense, other than having that person in a place where their heart is open to hear your heart. Okay, that's what accusations do. And when you accuse, you also set the potential for that person to shut down. And they'll never hear what you have to say. They'll never acknowledge your feelings. They'll never acknowledge your hurt because you accused in trying to make a point. So what it also will do when you accuse is that it causes bitterness from that other person, and it has a potential to deteriorate and erode over time that relationship, especially if you continue to be that person that accuses and say, you hurt me and you did this and you did that. Okay, so people don't always say things in a way that is correct, especially when they're hurt, to get their point across. So sometimes the receiving person that's hearing the information, we have to be gentle enough and open-minded enough to hear that person's heart, even when their words don't come out right. Because sometimes we have to take the lead on preserving the relationship, even when we have been accused, or even if we're not the one that's in the wrong. Does that make sense? And even when it's not our fault, okay? So sometimes also, we just have to meet people where they are, because sometimes where a person is may not be at your standard, or may not even be at your expectation level. But in order to preserve the relationship, we just have to meet that person where they are. Let me give you an example of that. My daddy, I had a great daddy, but I never heard my daddy say, I'm sorry. At least he never said it to me. And what I had to learn over time is that I'll never get those words, but he apologized in many ways and many times. We could be sitting in the living room watching TV together, and we're mad at each other and we're not talking. And then all of a sudden he'll say, you want to go to the store and get a drink and a pack of nabs? So I knew, or I had to learn over time, that he's not going to say I'm sorry, but him saying, you want to go to the store and get a drink and a pack of nabs, that was his way of apologizing. Okay, so sometimes you may not get I'm sorry or from the other person that you're accusing, but we have to learn to accept people's apology in the way that they give it. And who in the world ever said that the only way to say the only way to apologize is to say I'm sorry? You have the right to write your relationships in any way that you want to write them, and define your relationships in any way that you want to define them. So if you have a beautiful relationship with someone, like I had a beautiful relationship with my daddy, it's okay for me and us to decide that his way of apologizing is not through the words I'm sorry, but through his actions and things that he does to repair that relationship. So we want to keep that in mind, okay? So don't have your standard. My point for saying that is, don't have your standard so high that you don't receive the person in the way that they're trying to say I'm sorry, or trying to say something else, or even when they are accusing. Don't have your standard so high that you choose the route of getting defensive and all those other things that we just mentioned earlier, when you're trying to salvage the beautiful relationship. However, on that other side, we want to make sure that we're trying to be the best selves that we can be, for ourselves and for the world. So if we are the person that is accusing, whether it's because we're hurt, or whether it's because we're not getting our point across, or whether we want to blame somebody else for what we're feeling, then that's on us. We have to take ownership, because nobody controls your feelings but you. Nobody controls your feelings but you. So when you say you hurt my feelings, it's not the person that hurt your feelings. It might be their behavior that hurt your feelings. It might be what they said that hurt your feelings. It might be what they did that hurt your feelings. But you are the one that's in control of your feelings. Okay, so the purpose of this video is to make sure that as we reflect and we see the beautiful relationships in our lives, that we ourselves, take accountability for what's my part to keep that relationship beautiful, especially when it comes to conflict and how I communicate. So let's throw away those accusations with pronouns. You hurt my feelings. You never buy me nothing. We heard this woman singing Tyrone's. You better call Tyrone, Erykah Badu, this weekend, and it was so funny. She said, you don't ever buy me nothing. You are not listening. We want to make sure that we turn that way, the way that we communicate around, so that we can be heard, so that that conflict can be resolved, and so that our relationship can go back to its place of beautifulness and continue to grow and be beautiful and give us all those things that we need from that relationship, so that we are stronger and we are better, so that we can give out all of those things that we want to give. Okay, so instead of saying you hurt my feelings and you never listen and you do that, we can say something like, when you did that particular behavior, that hurt my feelings. Or when you said that particular whatever you said, that hurt my feelings. So what you're doing when you talk like that is you're taking ownership. You're taking ownership for your feelings, but you're also letting the person know that their behavior or what they said did actually hurt. And then the two of you can come together, and that person can make modifications to what they say or what they do, so that they don't continue that behavior in the past, so you can resolve that conflict and continue on in that beautiful relationship. So instead of saying things like, you never do nothing, because never is a strong word. That means it never happens. Ever. Okay, so instead of saying things like, you never do A, B, C, and D, find something good that you can compliment that person on and say, I appreciate when you do the laundry for me, but I would really appreciate if you did A, B, C, D a little more frequently. So instead of you telling the person and accusing the person of never doing something, you're just simply making a request of what you want more frequently. Okay? Does that make sense? And sometimes when you're angry or when you're hurt or when you have those negative emotions, it's kind of hard to talk calm like that and to talk mature like that. But remember, we're trying to be the absolute best that we can be for ourselves and for the world. So sometimes we have to suck it up and then find a better, more beautiful way of communicating. Because at the end of the day, we want that beautiful relationship in our life, and we need that beautiful relationship in our life to thrive and be all that we can do. Another example, instead of saying, you are not listening, if someone says something and they respond back in a way that that they probably didn't understand what you said, then say, instead of saying you're not listening, then say, perhaps I didn't make myself clear, or perhaps I didn't understand, and repeat what you said maybe in a different way, and then ask that person, what do you understand me saying? Okay, and then that way you break down the opportunity for defense. You break down the opportunity for someone to shut down and you not be heard, and then you can get past that conflict and continue to communicate in a better way, in a more beautiful way that doesn't, demise the relationship and continue to make it strong. So that's what we wanted to say on that. And I know that's a whole lot of mouthful, but I wanted to get that out, and I felt that it was imperative and important to cover this today on Trash Day Thursday. Okay, so I hope that you receive it with an open heart, because it was certainly given in one. Okay, so on this Trash Day Thursday, what are we going to throw away again? We're going to throw away accusations with pronouns. Let's throw that away. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope that you have a beautiful day. I'm telling y'all, it was so beautiful in Tampa, Florida. If you've never been to Tampa, Florida, give Tampa a try, because we had an absolute blast. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope that you have a super fantabulous day, and we shall see you on the next video. How about that? Mwah.